until the events of yesterday, which resulted in the indictments. I was especially impressed at the specials and programs that were aired and written within hours after the announcement of the indictments, indicating some very hard work and comprehensive research done by many of you during past months, I suppose, in anticipation of the events of yesterday. I know the public must feel comforted in realizing that it has been kept abreast of the developments as the probe continued, and that same comfort should rest with them as we now move from the grand jury room to the courtroom, and I'm certain that they and I can depend upon you to keep the public informed of every development and every aspect of the case as it continues. In that spirit, however, I will do my part as governor and as defendant to assist in the process. However, taking a cue from the statements made by Mr. Volz in his press conference yesterday, I tell you now that I will have no comments whatsoever on the facts or the law of the case, nor upon the involvement of any of the persons, since from this moment on the matter will be decided in the courtroom and not in the press room. No useful purpose would be served either to me as governor or as a defendant in the trial or to the public by gratuitously and consistently commenting on the trial as it progresses from this time to conclusion. In due course and within a short time, this matter will be concluded one way or the other in the American way with a fair and impartial trial, and all of us must wait and accept the decision that will be made by the jury in the process. I'm especially encouraged and thankful for the hundreds of telegrams, letters, and phone calls that have been flooding the mansion and my office during the past hours, expressing support and sympathy. And I assure those of you who have been kind enough to call or write that I shall never forget your kindnesses in these trying times. To the citizens of our state who are no doubt anxious, waitingly, concerned about the ultimate outcome of these proceedings, I echo in reverse what Mr. Volz said in his press conference yesterday. He stated with confidence that he would not have brought these indictments if he did not feel confident that he would get convictions. In reverse, I state that I am equally confident that I would not undergo the trauma of a trial if I were not positive that we will end up victoriously and be found guilty at the conclusion of the listen to me. Be found guiltless at the conclusion of the proceedings. There is no way, and I emphasize that, there is no way that any evidence can be produced to sustain or substantiate the torturous allegations made by the U.S. Attorney in the indictment, trying to put together the threads of unrelated events into a suspicious conspiracy. That just will not happen. In the meantime, the people of this state must have my assurance that government will continue to function in its traditional and effective manner. Roads and bridges will be built and maintained. Hospitals and schools will serve those who depend upon these facilities for their needs. The orderly functions of government will continue so that the private and public business of this state will continue to function properly. The legislature in its independent will continue to do its job as a legislature, and I am satisfied that but for the publicity which will follow in the wake of these proceedings, little else will have an impact on the state and its citizens. I will continue to serve the people of Louisiana because over 1 million people in 1983 decided that I was to be governor, and I do not intend to let the decision of one man to upset that course of action. I was pleased and impressed yesterday as I watched Mr. Volz in his press conference, stating that he would be not dragged into personalities, and taking a cue from him again, I too will refrain from engaging in that kind of dialogue. I think it necessary, however, for me to say to the people of this state that for the past 12 years, I have been subject to 11 grand jury investigations. These investigations were undertaken by Republican U.S. attorneys and lately by the Republican District Attorney in Baton Rouge. In each instance, it appears that the proceedings commenced as an investigation of me in some kind of effort to find wrongdoing, rather than in the traditional and accepted manner for which our legal system was engineered.